Many of you might be wondering, it's been cold this month. I haven't been able to go to the pool. I haven't been able to go in the river, for example. Well, I took a really detailed look at some of the teleconnection patterns and came up with our July outlook. This is just for the month of July, and I wanted to share the information with you. So here's the outlook, the general overview for southern West Virginia from July 1st through the 31st. Take a look. And greetings, folks. We've gotten a lot of complaints in here to the Stormwatch Weather Center that June was a little bit too cold for us. We're taking a look now at July's trends. And one of the things we look at in meteorology is teleconnection patterns. That's how the jet stream oscillates across the northern hemisphere. We are expecting in July that the East Pacific Oscillation, which is basically the eastern Pacific Ocean, will be in a negative phase. When it's in a negative phase, these are the percent of years having above average temperature trends. You can see for our region, it's about 45 to 55% chance of having above average temperatures. And then where you see the blue here is where you typically see the cooler temperatures. So there's a swath of somewhat cooler temperatures expected northern plains into the Mississippi Valley, but we're right on the cusp of that. When we look at other teleconnection patterns for the month of July, we are expecting the North Atlantic Oscillation to be in a positive phase or above zero. You can see across much of the U.S. there's a very weak signal when the NAO is in a positive phase for warmer or cooler than average, but we're right on the line there with near average temperatures. And with the Pacific North America pattern expected, these are the percent years with a negative PNA expected that you would have above average temperatures, and very few years across much of the east have above average temperatures with a negative Pacific North America pattern. So that would favor a cooler regime. Now, one overriding factor is the sea surface temperature anomalies. While we do have a marine heat wave across the North Atlantic right now, we have some cooler than average temperatures right off the mid-Atlantic and northeast coast, and that tends to be a magnet for upper level troughs or cloudy and somewhat showery weather across the north and east. So these are the best signals going forward for the month of July. The cooler signal would be the negative Pacific North America pattern. The warmer signals, really none of them. But the other signal that I just mentioned is the cooler sea surface temperature anomalies off the northeast coast that would favor cooler temperatures in much of southern West Virginia and the mid-Atlantic. So when we break it all down, let's look at the rainfall forecast first. We are in a moderate drought for most of the region along the Route 219 corridor, but for the remainder of us from Route 19 south, we've seen abnormally dry weather. We are expecting July rainfall to be average, which is 4.3 to 5 inches. So we are not expected to dig deeper into a drought in the northern half of our region. As for the temperature assessment in July, we think that the hot days and the cooler days will balance out, and we should have near average temperatures here across southern West Virginia. Of course, stay tuned with your Stormwatch forecast. We will have your day-to-day breakdown each day on the newscast. Chief Meteorologist Chad Merrill reporting for Newswatch.